Hi, my name's Helen Holden and I'm Marketing Manager at Canonbee Publishing. And today I want to show you a campaign that we use to convert leads and prospects into buyers. We have a webinar campaign selling a course, telling people how they can use what they already know and turn it into a six-figure online course. It's sold via a webinar, which is just over an hour long, and that works really well for us, bringing on leads, and we also make direct sales through the webinar. But we wanted to make the webinar work harder for us, and we wanted to follow up with the attendees, and we can do that with Keap. Using integration with an external webinar provider, we use EverWebinar, but you could also look at GoToWebinar. We integrate with Keap, so all the prospects that sign up for the webinar are pulled into Keap here with their registration tag. And what's really great is we can then segment the names for how they responded to the webinar. So if they stayed on board for the whole hour and saw the offer, they get pulled in here. If they missed the webinar altogether or they stayed less than an hour, then we can mark them here. And it means we can send them different messages. And first of all, what we can make sure we do using this decision diamond is we can make sure we pull anyone out that actually bought directly on the webinar. So anyone that had this tag, it meant that they bought, and we just want to send them an email saying, it was great to see you, thanks so much, here's your free gift for attending, we can't wait to work with you. But if they didn't buy, they get the same free gift and message, but there's also a sales link. If they missed the webinar or they stayed on for less than an hour, they get a message saying, hey, we realise life's busy, things get in the way, but you were obviously interested, you signed up, so here's a replay video. And then if they don't buy, they all go into this webinar follow-up, which is a series of emails restating the benefits that were in the webinar about the course, but also perhaps coming up with some of their objections and giving them answers. So we know from previous feedback that a lot of people worry about setting up a course and all the technical side. So we've done a specific email from Eloise, who runs the course, saying, look, it's not going to be a problem. We've got this. We'll take you step by step through everything, just to reassure them. And that's what's great about this series, that you can add different emails depending on the feedback you get, or you can change the different email messages. And then every email has a sales link at the bottom. And what we've done is we set up one campaign link that features on this campaign, but even though the link is in every email, if we wanted to change it, we would just change that one campaign link and it would automatically change every link in these emails, which saves you a huge amount of time and means if you wanted to test different copy or a different offer, you could do that simply by changing the one control link. And it also avoids making mistakes. It's quite easy to miss a link in an email, but that won't happen using the Keap campaign link. And then we want to make sure that our emails are up to date and timely. So we also had this seasonal holiday sequence where Eloise, who runs the course, went on holiday. And using this email, she just sends a video saying, look, I was lying on a sun lounger and yet you can see I was still bringing in sales, which is a great benefit. Obviously, it's very seasonal, so we didn't want to interrupt the normal webinar flow. So we had it here, and it also means it stands out and we can either turn it off or we can update it for the next holiday. Perhaps we'll do a new one for Christmas. We want to make sure that nobody gets our emails that doesn't want to receive them. So to be GDPR compliant, we have an opt-out on every email we send out. And if they click that, then they get pulled out of the campaign here. And obviously, if they buy the course, that's great, but we want to stop sending them email messages. So we make sure on our campaign, it stops immediately if the goal is achieved. And these are the 3 goals. And then at the end here, we give them a tag to say that they've completed this series. So if in the future they attended another webinar, but you didn't want to send them down this webinar campaign, you could pull them out. And we also give them an e-letter tag. So Eloise sends out an e-letter every week full of useful content for people that want to create a course. And it means even if we don't sell to them at this point, perhaps we will sell to them in the future. This campaign is a huge benefit to us. As I say, the webinar works really well for us, and each sale is worth £1,000. But we wanted to make the webinar work harder for us. We could, if we didn't have this automation, we could set up a webinar set on a specific time, a specific day, manually pull off the names and send them emails. But due to time constraints and manpower, that would probably mean only running it once or twice a month. But because we can automate this process on Keap, it means we can have an evergreen webinar running. So if anyone finds our opt-in page, they will be offered a webinar time within the next hour and then various other times over the next 2 days. So we're constantly pulling names into the webinar and then into this campaign and then converting those leads, which, as I say, at £1,000 per conversion is obviously worth an awful lot of money to us, and it has saved us an awful amount of time.